If you're gardening right now, at this very moment, this one's for you. Get comfortable because times like this call for a little pot to plant your seeds in. They also call for a trowel with a nice rounded top. And of course, a chunky little handle. It's not gardening if we don't have our favorite shovel, created today in a crisp sky blue. A nice strong and steady handle, and of course our sharp shovely bit at the bottom, ready to scoop away any dirt. Our garden would not be very luscious without a watering can, so let's create one of those too, using the juiciest nacho cheese mango yellow on earth. We'll give it a nice spout to water all those little flowers in our garden. You may be wondering what happens if we get some unwanted weeds or need to do some pruning. Well, we have a little pair of quinceadrone magenta shears for that, of course. I can almost hear the snip, snip, snip they'd make as they're cutting things like this nice wavy leafy stalk. Especially if it's rained, our gardens can be muddy. To protect our feet, we're going to use some nice salmony colored welly boots. They're rubbery and thick and very protective, coming in handy for all kinds of things actually. Now that we have all the supplies we need for our little gardening adventure, we're going to start on our pot. I think you've already started on your pot, and I love that for you. Using the same chocolatey brown we did for the outline, we're going to create the inlines on the inside of the shape of our little pot, tracing round those existing lines until the blank space inside the shapes we made is completely filled in. Next, we get to move on to our earthy green trowel. This green just screams garden store to me. With even our first line inside the shape, this funny looking area has been divided into two parts. Kind of like if a carrot and a closed umbrella had a baby, in some sort of weird way. Shrinking with every layer into a little triangle, closing the blankness out and filling it in with green. Our shovel needs one smooth, long line up one side, across the top, and then again all the way up the other side, totally filling in this very long, skinny rectangle. Next, we get to move into our middle shovely portion. I can really imagine driving this shovel into the ground and stepping on this top bit with my foot, digging it deeper into the soil and coming out with a big pile of nice dirt. Let's move across the color spectrum and into that yellow again. Filling in the top bits of our watering can kinda looks like eyes and a smile. Very satisfied looking little watering can. Oh wow, now we're giving it a huge wide-mouthed grin. He does look slightly uncomfortable though, but it's okay because we're going to continue with our process and fill in the shape. Line after line, continuously decreasing the size of the blank space rectangle inside. I can't unsee the face. We can't forget his little spout over on the right, which we use our skinny little brush tip to fill out. Next, we're back to this very juicy berry color to fill in our garden shears. Filling in the right blade with one smooth little line, they look like swords. The handles have much rounder edges and are definitely giving being made of plastic or something. But nevertheless, we fill them in just the same. Notice those little dribbles off the side on the right. We're going to come back to those later. Keep an eye out. To fill in our minty colored leaf clipping, we're going to use a lovely wiggly line, tracing its way inside the edges of the shape, up one side and down the other, weaving about until it makes its way to this crispy little corner. Next it pivots, unlike Ross and Chandler on the staircase, and moves up the stalk, and then smoothly down the other side until it reunites with its starting point in the bottom corner. To complete the leaf, of course, we must fill in all these little bits left over. We have now traversed across the paper until we've made our way to the bottom right corner, where we're going to do our welly, short for Wellington boot, named after the Duke of Wellington in the 18th century. I think in the US they're called rain boots, but wellies is a lot more fun. Darling, have you seen my wellies? Honey, where are my rain boots? Wherever you come from, you better find those shoes quickly because we are about to enter the next phase of the painting, and we're really going to need them. First, we'll close out this hourglassly kind of shape in the center of our boot, which completes the inside. Next, we're going to pick up a new flavor of watercolor, a bright and cheery grass green shade. The goal is to fill out all the background of the paper and make it the grass of our garden. We're going to begin on the bottom left corner and take our line all the way to the right side of the page, moving seamlessly around any obstacle we pass, which is those little dripples in this case. Remember those? Is a dripple a word? It is now. As we move around and outline each of the shapes on our page, it's kind of like we're giving them a hug with our grass green. We don't care how that shape looks at all, whether it's curved, pointed, jaggedy, a dripple, or something more intentional, like the stalk of our leaf right here. The paintbrush's only intention is to glide along whatever it comes across, paying attention to keeping the white space between our old line and our new line as consistent as possible throughout. It's kind of like we're expanding the auras of the shapes that were on our page, letting them loose and free into the nice meadow that we're creating. Once the line moves all the way to the edge on the right side, we complete it and start again on the left, rhythmically and systematically making our way up the page. As this process happens, the aura lines around each individual item are going to come very close together, even kissing sometimes, like right here, very thrilling. As they do that, they make these tiny pockets of white space. We have a couple little cute ones here on the left, and we're about to make some more as our brush slides between the leaf and the welly. This one we're working on right now is shrinking the triangle white space in the center, and what's left kind of looks like the sail of a boat. We want our garden to be completely luscious, soft, and grassy. So we're going to take our paintbrush and fill in all those little areas until the blank space is gone. I'd really like to walk on this area with bare feet and feel the softness below. But that would be weird because this is my favorite watercolor book, so let's just keep moving along the rest of the page. Let's take a look at how the grass green has risen all the way from the bottom to the midpoint of the paper. And as it glides up the straight line of our shovel, it almost touches the top, not before going back down though. Since each garden item is a different shape, it's really taken the green into all different areas of the page. Some with a gentle curve, like right here, and others with a bit of a more round curve. Here's that little face of our watering can again. How's he doing? Still looks a bit anxious, really, but he'll be okay. Let's keep moving up our paper. Look at that little pot all untouched over on the left. We'll get to it soon. For now, we're dancing our brush along the contours of our trowel. At least, I think this is a trowel, real gardeners weigh in. Not that the rest of us aren't real gardeners. Trust me, I garden. But I mean outdoors, fingers in the dirt, knowing what a trowel is. Here we are on the right again, and I love swimming up the length of our shovel. As we complete this line, it's going to close out this blank space on the right, shielded off from the rest of our page by this shovel. And of course, as usual, we fill it in line by line, shrinking the blank space on this particular piece of our fluffy paper. Thrillingly, we've now made it back to where we started, at our little pot. Soon the meadow is going to expand into all the paper we have left, but not before meandering our way around the little pot, the rounded top edge ready to receive a nice plant. I'm thinking a hibiscus would be nice. And then up the aura emanating from our trowel. This grass green is like a blanket of calm, expanding into every corner of our page. I had such a lovely time gardening with you, and I hope you come back again. Don't forget to follow me for more.